everyone, my name is Hannah and I am a nutrition educator with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Jefferson County. Today I'm going to be showing you a really simple recipe for a basic spaghetti sauce. This is one of my favorite recipes because it just uses a lot of easy staple ingredients that you probably already have in your pantry and can be whipped up in just a flash. So let's go ahead and get started. First, gather all your ingredients. This recipe for spaghetti sauce starts out like a lot of other recipes. We're going to start by heating oil in a big pot. You could also do this if you have a deep skillet or a saute pan would also work. So we're going to heat up our oil because we are going to start by sauteing an onion. So once my oil is heated, I can kind of tell it's shimmering, it's kind of coating throughout my pot really easily. I'm going to go ahead and add my 1 cup of chopped onions. If you're interested in learning some tips on chopping onions, you can go ahead and check out, we have a video on it on our website. So I'm going to go ahead and start stirring my onions. Just get them coated with some oil. And in this recipe, I'm using olive oil, but you can use whatever you have available. Canola or vegetable oil would also be great. I'm not heating this over super high temperatures. I'm just going to kind of be sweating the onions, getting them a little bit translucent, a little bit brown over a longer period of time. So it doesn't quite matter which oil you use. My onions are almost there. You can see they're starting to turn brown in some places. They're a lot more translucent. So I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 cloves of diced garlic. If you're big garlic fans, you might consider adding more of it. We'll just go ahead and give that a stir, and we'll give it a couple seconds to cook in with the onions. Okay, so my onions and garlic are looking really good here. So it's going to be time to move on to our recipe. So the next step is just going to be adding in all of the other ingredients. It doesn't really matter what order you choose to do it in, but I like to do it with my dried herbs first because the heat will allow them to open up and distribute a little more of their flavor. The recipe calls for dried basil and dried parsley. I'm going to substitute in some Italian seasoning instead because that's what I have available. So it's going to be a teaspoon of each of those. Let's go ahead and add these in. I'm going to give them a good stir. We're not going to leave them alone too long. So we don't want them to burn. We just want them to get a little bit warmer, a little more aromatic. Kind of soak up that oil a little bit and release their flavors. Okay. Then the next step is going to be adding our tomato sauce. And what I have here is I had some leftover diced canned tomatoes that left over. It's a little bit over the 16 ounces required, but that's okay. I'm going to have a little bit of a soupier sauce, and I'm fine with that. So you could use tomato sauce if you like a little bit of a smoother sauce. If you like a little bit chunkier, you could use these diced. You could use whole ones that you smush up yourself. Kind of whatever you have in the pantry, you can make work. The one thing to notice though is when you are purchasing any canned good really is to look for the no salt added. So it'll either maybe say it up along the top, on the side sometimes, or it might say low sodium, something like that. You can also go ahead and look on the nutrition facts label where it says sodium. You want it to be 5% or lower, that number over here. Then we're going to go ahead and add some water in, 1.5 cups. If you wanted to use a little bit more tomatoes and a little bit less water, you could. That way you won't have such a soupy sauce. But like I said, this recipe is super customizable. You can play around with it and change it up as you go. The next thing I'm going to add is I'm going to add some cooked lentils. If you wanted to, you could have made some ground beef and cooked it on the side, or ground turkey and cooked it on the side and added it in at this point. I like adding in some lentils because they add a little bit of extra fiber, they add some more protein. They're a really good source of a lot of vitamins and minerals, and they just add a little bit extra to the sauce, while still kind of giving it a little bit of a meatier texture. If you've seen my past videos on our webpage and YouTube where I make lentil tacos, you can tell I'm a big fan of lentils, and I try to fit them wherever I can. Go ahead and mix it up in there. You can see it's pretty chunky. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up to a boil. Our pot is boiling. I'm gonna go ahead and reduce it down to a simmer, cover it, and let it sit for at least 3 minutes. This will help break down the tomatoes, kind of mix in the flavors together. You can go ahead and leave it for longer if you like. This is even a sauce that is even better the next day. So if you want to make a big batch of it on the weekend and use it throughout the week, or even make a big batch and freeze part of it for another meal, this is a great recipe. It just kind of, the flavors meld even more and get better with time. So I hope you go ahead and try it and enjoy.